Hi Cubs, welcome back to another Market Watch with me. It's your weekly Market Watch with your favorite bear, Reggie Bear. It's a pleasure to see you guys again. I have had a bit of a break from making content just because I think it's always good to have like some nice rest in between, and I had a lot of assignments and work to do, but I'm back and I'm really happy to be able to share some really cool content I've been having during this time when I've been planning. So without further ado, let's first get to it and let's focus on what's happening in the market. As you know, this weekend is the US regionals and some regionals dotted around the world as well. And it's going to be a very interesting market watch because you'll be seeing a lot of fluctuation. Usually, I like to try and buy my cards during when regionals is happening because a lot of my favorite cards can get support. And then at the same time, a lot of my favorite cards will be ignored during this time, which is a great time to buy. And the ones that are not ignored, a great time to sell. So let's go first up with some Shine Greymon support, which we know that is going to get 3 sets of support. This Rise Greymon is slowly starting to trickle up and up, and I think it's only going to be even more expensive as it goes on. Not necessarily probably used all the time in Shine Greymon decks, but I think it's just a really good staple to have. If you have this card in your arsenal, it's probably best just to keep it in case the price does peak up, because people will be trying out different deck lists and everything, and BT12 hype is already starting. So keep it on. Now, if anybody's familiar with Digimon Seekers and been reading your daily dose of web novels, I know I have, that Deep Brigade support is definitely going to be happening during the time of BT14. It's interesting. I did have a little spruce of BT14, but I'm going to have a full set breakdown because there's a lot of things that I feel like some videos that I've watched have missed that some people have posted on Twitter, some people have said on Twitch, and I kind of wanted to compile it all together. But if you want to get a beautiful, beautiful Commandramon deck out, you could probably get this for 80 cents and not necessarily buy a box. I know a lot of people have favored singles during the BT11 set, mostly because of the interesting way that the campaign rares and the foil rares have influenced the pull rate of some of the cards. So I recommend if you want to be able to play Commandramon or you looking forward to the Deep Brigade support, pick up a couple of these and get a full maxed full drip. Let's talk about Chaosdramon. We know Chaosdramon X Antibody is coming in BT12, and as you can see, it's starting to rise again. I wonder why it's rising. It's because it's going to be very cracked during the meta. I know as a Mastermon player, it's very hard to go up against Chaosdramon, and it can gain a lot of DP and power. Now that Black War Grey is kind of a bit nullified, it's going to be a very popular deck that some people would play. I haven't seen the matches up against Beelzemon, but I do assume Beelzemon is slightly more powerful depending on how you learn how to break it down. But that is my opinion. Don't take my note for it, don't take my weight for it. But just so you know, it might be great to pick up an alt art version in case you wanted to. If you want to sell it, definitely wait till BT12. Chikurimon. Chikurimon has shown itself to be a very powerful card, especially in machine decks. And I feel like in terms of the Digimon Card Game Fest, if you wanted a nice stamped card, it's probably going to be good. If you have this card already, definitely wait till BT12 because it's going to get more expensive. Now, we've been looking kind of also in Japan and what's been topping lately. Imperial hasn't been winning that many matches, so I feel like the alt art has kind of gone low. It could have a spike in the near future, but in case you are trying to go for Imperial, I would recommend just picking this up for $6. It's quite good. Its sale history has been interesting as well. It's been kind of going up down because people aren't sure where it lies in the meta, but now that more Japanese championships are coming to light with the results, Imperial has been a bit low, but I think if it has the right kind of Imperial player, if it's someone that's really, really dedicated, with the new set and all of its help that it will get for this deck, it'll be very, very powerful, just in the right hands. Galamon Crimson Mode. This card was interesting because it was going up for a while, but now it's starting to have a little bit of a decline. I think because people are really excited for Galamon support, who wouldn't be? But it just seems like the deck, even though with the support it's getting, it's still missing a few key components. But I feel like if you know the right kind of tech, it'll definitely be good, just like with Imperial. Galamon is going to be interesting coming this set because a lot of people are going to be leaving the X Antibody version for this version in BT12, but there's some X Antibody cards which you can keep up with it. it's still a pretty good price considering I did see a friend that paid $80 in order to get this alt art back in the day, so I think it's quite good, especially for a secret. But I would wait just a little bit. If you really want to get your spiced up Gallimon cards, especially Gallimon Crimson mode, just wait it out. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Alforce Veedramon has not really been picking up. It's been staying on the ground. I think people had their Ultimate Cup share, and this card has just stayed where it has been. I remember this card used to be like $69, but then they realized what the support had, and people are still on board with the Leomon based kind of Alforce and just the pure Alforce. So this deck hasn't really seen as much play because people are still trying to figure it out. I feel like it's going to change in BT12. People are going to try to pick it up again because Alforce X Antibody is coming in. So I recommend if you have these pieces, definitely hold on to them. If you wanted it, it's probably a very cheap price for what the BT11 set is cost, but I would wait just a little bit more. Maybe about a week, and we'll see what happens then. Beelzemon. So the regionals, there will be Beelzemon players. But I find it interesting that a lot of people have learned that this deck is not an easy deck. It's an advanced starter deck for a reason, because purple decks naturally are just very interesting and just very weird. Even though I say that as a purple player. I'm learning this deck and it is a bit difficult for me. You definitely need like 1000% of your brain power most of the time playing this deck, and you can't let up even for a moment. I think that's why the price dipped kind of a bit, because everyone did have the hype, but now it's kind of just like, oh my goodness, that's happening. But I feel like regionals greatly affects this. If you were hoping to sell them, I hope you sold them when it was pretty much at its high, when it was around $30. But for anybody that's waiting to buy these cards, especially if they're not caring about max rarity and it's just like non-alt art, it's getting better in price. I would recommend just wait for it a little bit. Before the advanced starter deck, I remember this card being $10, so you could probably wait until then. We're speaking more about Beelzemon Blast mode, alt art. As you can see, another decline. This Beelzemon Blast mode hasn't been played in some decks that I've seen, but I think it's still a really good staple, especially for an alt art secret. I think that's a pretty good price. If you're thinking about Beelstarmon, it could still be around the $60 or $70 mark. I haven't been able to see it because I'm still shocked by the price. As for Murray, so I kind of figured that you might want to be able to pick this up. Probably one copy. I've seen this as a one-off or a two-off, but see how you feel in terms of the deck and in terms of your playstyle. There's definitely going to be Shalmon players in regionals, but as you can see, because regional is happening and most people have gotten their cards, it's starting to have a decline on the alt art. Now, Shalmon is a really affordable deck, I would say, and one that can reach very much to high tiers as long as you kind of understand a bit of its playstyle. It definitely still comes with a lot of practice, though. Every deck needs practice. So I do recommend that you could wait it out till just after regionals, and you'll probably see this card plummet, and you can buy yourself a beautiful Shalmon Cross 5 alt art. Let's talk about the Ultimate Cup. For most people that have participated, they will be getting this Gigimon. Now, this Gigimon has dropped in price. Like I said in previous videos, that you need to sell this as soon as you can, because as soon as they get more support later on, and also more Ultimate Cups, it's just going to keep going down. So please sell these cards if you haven't already. Just for an example, the Gigimon Alt Art in EX2 is almost the same price as this one now. They're literally like $3 off. So it depends. If you're gonna go full on Gallantmon in BT12, then you could probably take a copy of this. I remember when it was really high, but now it's kind of going down. But otherwise, it just is an example just to show you, just please sell this as soon as you can. Last on our market watch list, we have the pre-release Veemon, which is actually going up and up in price. Now, I find this interesting just because Alforce Veedramon himself, the alt art, I don't know if it's not as loved or something, but it's just kind of like, it's been down for so long, but this one is actually going up. I mean, people do love to have max rarity in terms of their card decks, but I just find this really interesting how the market is kind of like pushing this up more. Maybe there is some Alforce fans who are currently trying to buy this out, but it was even selling at one point for $25 or $30. And I think that's kind of crazy. But that's it for our market watch. We'll see what happens in our market after regionals, especially for those who are going to be topping in deck lists. It's going to be a very interesting show in the market, and I hope you guys can join me for it. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, Cubs. Bye!